Birthday greetings, a little late, but nevertheless, a very happy birthday to Hal Roach. Good morning, Mr. Roach.
Good morning, sir, on this afternoon here.
It is afternoon. Well, this will be on in the morning. I guess that's why this is radio, you see, and it's not necessarily live. But I have to tell you, this is a thrill for me to talk to the man who put together the team that I suppose I lived for as a youngster. Laurel and Hardy made life worthwhile for a kid.
Well, I'm very happy that at least you liked it.
You turned 96 on January 14th.
That's right.
How many years ago has it been since the Academy finally decided to give you an Oscar?
Oh, that was I got my first Oscar a hell of a long time ago. And
let's see, the Laurel and Hardy, the music.
1980 or so, I got the Oscar for achievement.
Yeah, the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's neat. I'm glad they finally recognized you to do that. The Music Box got an award in 1932, as I recall.
That's right.
The best sound short comedy or something.
Yeah.
With Laurel and Hardy. Can you tell me the whole business of how in the world you decided? Of course, the Hal Roach Studios at the time were really the comedy studio in California, wasn't it?
Oh, yes. Well, of course, Mac Sennett was way ahead of me to start, but I caught him when Sound Pictures came in.
And you had, besides Laurel and Hardy, you had Charlie Chase?
Harold Lloyd was my big star originally. Harold Lloyd was second to Chaplin as far as money was concerned in the business. And he was my big star for a long time.
Harold Lloyd, of course, is the guy that we always picture hanging by that clock, the hands of the clock, from Safety Last.
That's because the press likes that picture, I guess.
Is it true that he didn't have all of the fingers on one hand?
Oh, yes, that's true. His thumb and forefinger were blown off many years ago, but he was able to get a duplicate made of women's, like the women wear for gloves, and such a way that painted that the audience never knew the difference.
No, in fact, I tried to watch very, very closely after I'd heard that, and I still couldn't tell. Yeah. So anyway, Harold Lloyd, Charlie Chase. Of course, the Our Gang comedies, which other studios tried to do with other kids, never seemed to work out for them. But those are hilarious as well.
Well, somebody must like them. They're still on television.
That's right. Even later when TV came in, I believe your son produced the Amos and Andy show for television, right?
No, the Amos and Andy show was made at the Hal Roach studio. But actually, we had nothing to do with the making of the series. Both Amos and Andy were personal friends of mine, and they made the show at the Hal Roach studios.
I see. Well, anyway, when television came in, I suppose there were a number of shows that were actually filmed at Hal Roach Studios.
Oh, yes. Well, Hal Roach Studios did a lot of television in the early days.
How in the world, though, did you ever decide, or was it your decision, Mr. Roach, to put Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy together? How did they ever get teamed?
Oh, it was very simple. I mean, Hardy was already under contract with the studio. Laurel was in vaudeville, and I saw him. Somebody told me to go see the act. It was a funny act. I put him under contract, and after putting him under contract, we made a test, and his eyes were so light blue they didn't photograph. So I had already made a 7-year contract with him, so I had him as a writer. Then Pan-Chromatic stock came in, and we made a new test of him with his Pan-Chromatic stock, and his eyes photographed fine. So then we put him back to acting, and then he worked in one picture, which Laurel Hardy was also in. And Leo McCary at that time was my assistant, who became a very big director.
One of the big names.
And he and I both decided that those guys sort of complemented each other. And so McCary wrote a story called Putting Pants on Philip. in which they were not a team, but they were working together.
I know the film Stan plays a Scotsman, right? Stan plays a Scotsman in that movie, as I recall.
That's right.
Yeah.
But as I say, after we previewed that picture, we knew we had a team.
Hal, how long did it take to make a film? I know if you look at them and you listen...
On the two reelers, it took us a month. We made 12 a year.
Yeah. I tell you, you had a fellow by the name of Marvin Hatley who wrote a lot of the music for your films, right?
Oh, yes.
There's something very charming. I don't know what it is. You can watch a number of them, the Our Gang or the Charlie Chase or the Laurel and Hardy films, and you will hear that recurring theme, a number of recurring themes, that really, for some reason, made it. I don't know if anybody else that really did that. Was that just unique with Hal Roach Studios?
To do what?
To use the same kind of background music through much of your comedies?
Oh, every picture will have a background of music in the days of sound. But as far as Laurel and Hardy is concerned, comedy music was actually more my idea than anybody else's.
Well, I like it. It's a nice touch.
Yeah, well, as I say, when the Hatley came in, that was the reason he came in, was because he could do the comedy, with reaction with comedy music.
Yeah. What's your feeling about the comedies that people are doing today?
I'm not doing anything about what they're doing today.
No, but I mean, what do you think about?
It's all feature films, and no comedian was as good in features as he was in shorts. And therefore, there's much less comedy today because, as I say, if you make a half-hour comedy show, that's the same length that a two-reel comedy was during the days of when you had a feature comedy, a two-reel comedy, a newsreel, a cynic, and that was the show. And now, as I say, that you have a feature, and if you make a good comedy, it's got to be in feature length. Mm-hmm. And you just can't make people laugh for 2 hours.
Yeah. I want to thank you personally for the enjoyment that you have provided for me, and I still get a real kick out of looking at your films.
Well, I hope everybody else in the town does.
Yeah.
And make my 97th very much president.
I hope you're in good health. You sound terrific.
Oh, considering, I think I am pretty good health, yes.
Yeah. What's a day like for Hal Roach now? Do you are you taking life pretty easy, or are you pretty active?
Well, I'm going pheasant shooting tomorrow.
Where do you go hunting?
Oh, at a club.
Oh, okay.
Not very serious. I mean, they raise the pheasants and we shoot them at this club.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I mean, I'm taking things rather easy. I'm working on some television things and some picture things and all.
Yeah. Now, we still see...
when you're 96, nobody wants to talk business with you.
Oh, I don't know. I love talking to you. And this is my business.
Yeah, well, as I say, I still got some ideas I think would go on both television and motion pictures.
Yeah. Here again, another question came in.
I also say that both motion pictures and television need something.
Something that's lacking, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is a question of quality in pictures as much as it is in television. But there's an awful lot of television that goes on that should never even have to be made. Mm-hmm. There's just too much of it.
Yeah. There's a lot of use of laugh tracks on television.
That is disgusting to me, those laugh tracks.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, Laurel and Hardy and Our Gang have been on television for over 50 years, and there's no laugh track. And
they're still funny as ever.
Right?
It's still as funny as it ever was. It's really timeless humor.
So you don't. It's the thing. The only reason they use a laugh track is because it is not funny.
Yeah.
Not because it is funny.
I have a 4-year-old, and her favorite movie is Sons of the Desert. Now I don't understand that at all.
That was one of my favorites too.
but she'll sit there, and I say, nowadays kids are supposed to want all this color, and they're supposed to want all this, I don't know, multi-active kind of action-type films.
That's the one where Gene Harlow's picture is in it, isn't it?
Sons of the Desert?
Yeah.
That's the one where they go to the convention in Chicago.
Oh, yeah. No, that's another picture.
Let's see, Gene Harlow.
Oh, yeah.
Gene Harlow was in the silent where they closed the door and
Oh, yeah.
she gets her dress caught in the car door, right? We're talking ancient history, and maybe a lot of other people can't even identify what we're talking about here. But back in those days, did you write over every motion picture, Hal? Did you really give your input and say, I think this will work and I think it won't?
I didn't quite get the question.
How close to each film that the Hal Roach Studios made did you actually get? I mean, you were actively involved, weren't you?
Everything. I wrote the original stories for all of the things that Laurel and Hardy did. I had, with our gang, I told the writers what kind of a story to write one after the other. Charlie Chase, the same. Lazy Pitts and Selma Todd, the same.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was my job. And not the gags only, not the funny individual things, but what kind of a picture they were going to make one after another.
So the rough story idea.
One about New York, then the next one wanted to be about a small town. Or if you had a crowd in one, you wanted to shoot people in the other, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
That was my job.
Yeah. What do you think about colorization?
Oh, the color black and white. Well, in the newspaper, you get black and white in the comic section for 6 days, and on the subject you get color. Does color make it any funnier because it's in color?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, but as I say, for certain pictures, a person buying a cassette might pay a few bucks more for a picture in color than they would in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as what they bought in entertainment, I don't think it'd be worth the difference.
Yeah. Now,
You can't, the color cannot be run in the theater anyway. They cannot color 35 millimeters.
right, they can only do it on video.
They can only do 15 millimeter or tape.
Oh, they can do it on 16 millimeter film?
What?
They can color 16 millimeter film?
They color 16 millimeter film, and they're trying to blow it up to 35, but they haven't been successful so far.
I'll be darned.
So, I mean, it's no good for the theater.
Yeah. Now, the Hal Roach Studios were torn down, were they not?
The studio's been gone. There's a company called the Hal Roach Studios, and when I sold the library for when I wanted to get out of the business, I had to give them the right to use my name.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a company called the Hal Roach Studios that put out the old pictures, and they still use my name, and I cannot stop it.
Okay.
I would if I could.
Okay. Well, the name Hal Roach has been synonymous with great comedy for so many years. And now all of a sudden I just ran across another title that popped into my head. You did the Topper series, didn't you?
Well, I may just really make another comedy, you can't tell.
Yeah.
I'm talking about it.
Yeah, I'm thinking didn't Cary Grant star in the Topper movie?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
He did Topper with me.
Yeah, that was yours.
He was also a very good friend of mine.
Yeah. Hal, it's a pleasure. I want to thank you very much for taking time. I know you had a little tickle in the throat here. But all the best, and I hope you're around for a long time, and I hope we get a chance to visit again sometime.
Well, sure. You give me a ring sometime.
Okay.
Okay, and so long.
Many more happy birthdays. Thank you.
Right.
Bye-bye.